the bio, the AI write your bio, okay,
I did. I was
or
there.
read it afterwards or watched it afterwards?
Keegan was not there.
I read it
Anybody?
afterwards.
Yes. Okay.
I watched the
So
entire video afterwards.
good job. Okay, so that is wonderful if you went, and if you haven't, you can always go find the recording and go look at it again. But that will be your basis for creating your perfect pitch. And so I'm sure everybody already has a pitch, right? If somebody asks you, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, you're in real estate? What do you do? And you have some sort of pitch that you give them, right? Oh, help sellers sell their homes and I help buyers find homes. Something easy is usually how that goes. So this perfect pitch is meant to define your credibility, your relevance, your differentiation, how you differentiate yourself from your other competition in a short little piece, right? So you want your 3 minute pitch, your 30-second pitch, which is your elevator pitch, your 3 minute pitch, and your 30-minute pitch, which would usually be used at some kind of consultation, buyer consultation or listing consultation. Um, so we're going to go through how to do that in AI. So I have a question for anybody here. How do you tell your story during a listing appointment? What do you make sure that you highlight?
Years of experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, years of experience. What if you don't have experience? What else do you highlight?
Affiliation with the number one Coldwell Banker affiliate in the state.
Right? Lean on your brokerage, right? Your team that you have around you. Um, Anybody else? Your goal during a listing appointment is to build trust and connections, right? So it's not just how wonderful you are, but also how relevant you are to that person's situation, right? If you are a newer agent, you've just bought a home and you're talking to a first-time home buyer, you have a lot of relevance to that client, and you should bring that up in that conversation about how you just bought a home and how the process went for you and the things that you didn't know as a first-time home buyer. It helps create that bond and helps people remember you because you can connect to their situation, right? Um, so like I said, we're going to talk about the 30-second elevator pitch, the 3-minute cocktail pitch, and then the 30-minute comprehensive pitch. There are three things that you want to talk about when you define your unique value. So the first one is credibility, which helps build trust, right? Relevance. Why is this relevant to the client that you're talking to? And differentiation. What makes you different from the person down the street? We all do the same thing. We all list and sell properties, right? So just saying that's not really a unique value. That's literally what our license allows us to do. Um, the first step for this process is for you guys, each of you, to come up with your own unique value based on these three categories, right? Now, a tip that you can do is you can know your competition, right? And that can help differentiate you from others because you can say, well, I know blah, blah, blah down the street does professional photography, but we do professional photography and we do drone photography or a listing video or something to that effect. So it's always good to know your competition as you're talking about your differentiation, your value. Does anybody want to read the definition of credibility? Or do you guys just want to listen to me talk? We can just
No,
listen.
Ashley Nelson wants to read it. She told me in telepathically,
Mm.
except for she's not there because she's a party pooper. So ironically,
So
Keegan
sorry.
also told me that she wants to read it. So
I don't remember telling you, but I will read it. A perception of integrity, expertise, and competence that others have in an individual.
Mm, yeah. So
Huh.
Keegan, what's your credibility?
Didn't realize it's going to be put on the hot spot so early this morning. I like it. Credibility. Oofda. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I have only been licensed for 2 years, so I do have to lean on the brokerage a little bit more than others as far as expertise. But integrity and competence, competence. I do lean on. I do have a paralegal background, which helps a ton. I was doing purchase agreements with an attorney, so that experience and working with an attorney in previous years has helped me build credibility with the low experience.
Mm. Ashley, what about you? What's your credibility like? What could you pick out of these to talk about your credibility?
Oh boy. I guess I just expertise, like you said, Katie, I agree with you setting yourself apart, knowing your competition. So I feel like actually I just had this conversation last week, when a house didn't sell, I said, this is what I can bring to the table. I think this is what it's going to take to sell. So he liked that plan versus maybe just doing MLS and phone photos. So he felt, I would just showed him that I could do that I feel it's
Mhm.
very important to do that. So yeah, I guess I always tell them the good, the bad, the ugly, what could happen. Try not to set the expectations too high. I always try to educate them first. I bring stats to the table. I mean, 79 days on market here in Sauk Center just a couple weeks ago. These sellers have not seen that in years. I'm going to tell you that. So I don't want I want that expectation that it's not going to sell within 3 days. And if it does, hallelujah. Let's
Right? That's a
celebrate.
bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
but that builds trust, right? That builds
yep.
trust with your clients. You're not going to BS them down the line. You're going to tell them what it is so that you can achieve their goals with them, right? Um, Absolutely. So how many of you are affiliated with your local real estate board or maybe the Downtown Business Association or the chamber or something to that effect? Would that lend credibility to your business, right? I am involved in the community. And if you're not, you should look at getting on some kind of board. One of the biggest ones is the positive customer feedback. So if you're not sending feedback forms out to your clients as they close, getting those positive customer feedbacks and those ratings and reviews boosts your credibility in the eyes of the public. How many of you are doing that?
A
Getting customer feedback?
long time member of the Rotary Club here, I guess, is a credibility portion of mine.
Absolutely. Yep.
And then usually a lot of times I'll sit down and I'll go through a lot of the listings that I've had over the last 16 years and show them the photos that I've taken and show them the days on the market and show them all the closings that I've had and the number of closings that I've sold and listed.
Right? That goes into your transaction experience. Like, yeah, I've done a lot of these things. I know what I'm doing. Hmm. So that's your credibility piece. So as we're going through this, start thinking about what your credibility value is. And we'll go over word bank in just a little bit once we get through all of these. The next one that you want to think about is relevance. Now, this is going to change depending on who you're talking to, right? If you're talking to a seller or a buyer or a young person versus an old person, maybe you're talking to someone who's in some sort of emotional state because they've just lost a partner and now they have to sell their home. So the relevance piece changes depending on who you're talking to. But local market conditions are relevant to everybody, right? Your involvement in those local groups, which crosses the line between credibility and relevance, is relevant to everybody. Local real estate news, just knowing what's happening in the real estate world, and not just going and doing another job and coming to real estate when you have somebody who's calling you, right? Knowing what actually is going on goes all into your relevance. Ashley, do you want to read the definition of relevance?
Can you hear me? Just making sure. Yeah. The degree to which someone or something is connected or pertinent to a particular subject, context, or situation.
So does anybody have a story of when your relevance just came up in a conversation with a buyer or a seller. Um,
Yes, I can
anyone?
share a really simple example. The other day we had, let's see here, we had a husband wife walk in the door on floor time, by the way. Fun factoid for those of you paying attention at home. And they were shopping agents to list their lake home. The fun conversation is, of course, the first question we say is, awesome. What lake are you on? Right. And they go, oh, we're on Ida. For those of you keeping track at home, that's my favorite lake in the Alec area, also which we are building on. And I said, oh, that's fantastic. We love Ida, all the fun things. And then I immediately derailed the conversation because they said, oh, yeah, we bought back in 2005. And I said, well, what do you think about the Bible camp being sold and being turned into a park? Because it's kind of controversial, right? So that way it's an immediate gauge on where they are. We talk about that. And then, of course, they're like, well, where are you on Bedman? And I'm like, or on Ida. And I said, well, we're down on Bedman Drive. And they're like, oh, we're on Oak Ridge, which is literally on the other side, So it's that immediate quick connection piece. And that's my little thing when it comes to relevance. If I can identify a point of it, I immediately derail the conversation to control it, but to show the connection piece, kind of like you talked about earlier, Katie. The whole objective of the appointment is to connect, right? Create that relationship and that rapport. So if I can find a chunk of relevance and derail it, I'm going to do it right away. And then I'll loop it back and use oh, I'm so sorry. I got a little excited and carried away. I love Lake Ida. It's so great. Let's talk back on where you are. And they're like, oh, it's so funny. So anyway, that's my last experience of major relevance.
Uh, yeah, and that's a great way to connect, right? Your whole goal with all of this is to connect with your clients. Make it memorable. Make your 30-second elevator pitch memorable to the point where they remember you, because people need to know three things for your real estate business to go well. They need to know that you sell real estate. They need to know your name. They need to know how to get a hold of you. That's it. That's all they need to do. And this is how you do that, by giving relevance, by giving that connection. Now, this is the differentiation part, right? What makes you stand out from your competition? What makes you stand out, maybe not from your competition, but what makes you stand out to those people? Let's say you go into a seller's home and they have a whole bunch of intricate woodwork throughout their whole house, and you like woodworking as a hobby, right? You do that on the side, you mess around. That would be a differentiation point that helps you stand out. Let's talk about marketing, right? So if you have different marketing strategies, you do drone photography and the guy down the road doesn't, that's something that you should talk about. Differentiation doesn't have to be all of the things that you can give. It can be that connection piece too. Um, Darcy, do you want to read the differentiation
Sure.
definition?
The process or strategy of highlighting unique attributes, features, or qualities that set you apart and make you stand out in the minds of consumers.
Mhm. So what other pieces of differentiation do you think are relevant to this unique value for you, or just for any agent if you're thinking of anything?
The different ways that agents do their marketing. Do they send out mailers? Do they do social media posts? What do
Yeah,
they do?
yeah, that's definitely a big one. How about from a buyer perspective? What would differentiate you as an agent as you're talking to a buyer?
The phrase I always use is I say, okay, Katie, I know you want to buy a house. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to tell you to buy a house. I'm going to be the guy who's going to tell you which house not to buy.
Hmm. Goes back to Ashley's piece about being completely honest, right?
Mhm.
So that you can build that trust. Yeah, absolutely. And that little line right there, like, it has nothing to do with a hobby, if it has nothing to do with work experience, or your life experiences, you're just telling them what you're going to give them differently than somebody else, right? That differentiation. Now, so these are the three things that we need to talk about: credibility, relevance, differentiation. Um, how are you feeling about all of those things? Do you have any questions about any of those? Because our next step is for you guys to take about 5 minutes and write down your three or two or three pieces in each of these categories. Going once,
I haven't had
going
my cup of
twice.
coffee yet. I just got out of mass. Lord have mercy.
Uh, it's time to wake
Bless
up.
you,
The kids
child.
are in kids are in school, so are we.
I gotta shift my brain.
Right? Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing this screen and I'm gonna share a different one. Okay. Okay. Can everybody see this one?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is supposed to help you. This is a word bank, right? And so this is supposed to help you figure out what your credibility, relevance, and differentiation are. In your particular piece. Now, I sent this out in the email that I sent out early this morning. So if you would rather look at it there, you're more than welcome to. But I would pick either write your own or pick 2 or 3 words from each of these categories that you could speak to that relate to you. Is that too far away?
Nope, that's fine.
I'll give you like 2 more minutes. Okay, anybody else need more time? You good?
Nope.
Thumbs up. Okay, cool. Okay.
Katie, I'm not done, but I'm getting calls coming here, so
Okay,
go ahead
no
without
problem.
me.
Thanks, Cindy. Okay, well, somebody's working today, apparently. So next one, hobbies and job titles. What hobbies or job titles that you have that could be relevant to a situation? So I'll give you a minute or two to write down 2 or 3 of those. For instance, Cindy used to be in the banking industry before she got into real estate. Do you think that might be relevant to almost everybody's situation? Hmm. Darcy used to be in the title industry. Do you think that might give her more knowledge than somebody else, more relevance? I love this one. Movie connoisseur.
I think if you go
My
an
hus-
entire conversation and not quote some movie, I feel like you're missing out in life. So
Fortunately, most of the quotes that I have, nobody gets. So there's that.
some of us live a sheltered life, Katie. It's okay, you know?
We do. Yep. All by myself. Yep. Um, okay. I see Ashley still squinting here.
Good enough. Got her.
Okay. So then your next one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Good morning,
you're gonna
everybody.
work today, Ashley. Come on now. I know you've had a busy week, okay, but like, hang on here. We're doing great.
So how about any certifications that you have? Have you won any of the awards from Coldwell Banker? Have you been under the 30/30? Our real estate office is what is it, the Inc. 5000,
hmm
right? I mean, we're the Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing companies. So how does that fit in? What about local groups that you're with? I know, Ashley, I saw on your Facebook the other day that you guys helped out at a church. Is that right?
I do a lot for the school. Darren's on Rotary, so we do Rotary, and I'm actually applying for the school board position.
Ooh, look
I
at
know it.
you.
I know I have to fill out my little thing today. I'm kind of nervous. It's a big commitment, but I really feel like I want to do it. I want to be a part.
Yeah.
So,
And it's important. And
Yep.
you can use it in your real estate business.
I know I want to
Yay!
make more connections. That's a great way to do it. Build
Absolutely.
trust right there. We're going to be there for 7 more years. So
Yes. Oh, yes. Big time. What any
Deep
community
dive.
events that you guys are involved in? Do you do in Park Rapids here? We have Second Street Stage, which they bring in a band and they close down the street every Thursday throughout the summer. Are you involved in that at all? Do you do anything there? Keegan. Keegan. Hmm.
Keegan. Cindy.
Um, Once you have a couple things there, that makes sense for you. And obviously, these lists aren't extensive. So if you have other things that are not on these lists, um, please include them because this is about your value proposition, your perfect pitch, not
Oh,
pitch perfect.
great movie, by
Okay,
the way. Excellent
great
series.
movie.
Mhm.
Yes.
Highly recommend if you haven't watched it recently.
Okay. Once you have those, now it's time for AI. Does anyone want to be my guinea pig? Or would you guys rather put this stuff into AI and then we'll come back in about 10 minutes and we'll share
Nah,
it?
pick a volunteer.
You can
Okay.
use mine. I don't care.
Okay, cool. So I assume, so based on the bio AI class, you have a decent idea on how to use AI. Is that correct, or should we go over that, please? Anybody? Good,
That's
bad?
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel great about it personally.
I bet you do.
You're the AI connoisseur.
I do love it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know, it's funny. After you did your Chat GPT, I did train the trainer and train someone how to use it, and they are in love with it.
See?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Can everybody see the
Perfect.
Chat GPT that I'm on there?
Yep.
Cool.
So-
Okay.
Katie, I
Yes.
just have like words. That's what you wanted. I didn't form sentences.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Nope.
Okay.
That's what Chat GPT is for. They form the sentences for us. Yes. Um, okay. So this is pretty easy. We need to tell the Chat GPT how to act, right? Please act as a real estate agent in Minnesota. You can tell it all sorts of things. What I like to do is I like to put it in a scenario, right? So you're having a conversation with a potential client. And you want to give your value pitch. Please include the following values. Now, what are your values, Ashley?
So we're going to start at the top, the credibility thing.
Yep.
So I put the 3 I picked out of credibility was my personalized approach.
Mm-hmm.
Motivated, well, equals proven success.
Okay.
And then I'm big on testimonials, so 5-star reputation.
There you go. Okay, what else?
Relevancy, I put responsive, proactive, and I'm client focused.
Proactive. Okay.
I would agree.
That's good.
Right, your view of yourself is correct. That's good.
I'm glad.
Or at least you're projecting it well, one of the two. I'm not sure. So
That is an important point that Brandon brings up. These should be true, just so you know. I assume that everybody knows that, but these should be true about yourself, right? Your business. Okay, what else you got, Ashley?
The differentiate, I just put optimistic. So, when sellers are not feeling like that's going to sell, I'm 100% like very optimistic and ambitious and innovative, like not technology wise, but I have an idea for some videos and I've talked to my little person that does my videos and he loved it.
Good.
So
okay.
Yeah. So innovative, I thought of that. And then what else is the next one?
Yeah. So let's just grab a couple, either hobbies or boards you're on, something in the community.
Well, hobbies, I mean, like you said, I always like to connect with them. Like you said, if it's a picture on their wall or whatever, but I put cooking because everyone loves to eat. So I feel like I'm a kitchen person. I love the kitchen. Home improvements. I love home improvements. And I'm big into fishing. So you didn't know that, Brandon?
I did not know that. No.
Oh my gosh, yes. I see your
okay.
Wow.
All right.
Big into fishing. Okay. Something new.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that certification thing, I can't remember. It's on my email. Like
I'm too awesome to remember.
What lake do you fish on?
I fish on a lot of lakes.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, I love Darren. My husband is very much of a bass fisherman. I like to go for panfish just because they're fun and easy and simple. My favorite is probably a crappie. The way they pull it under and they're all sneaky, but then I yank it and got them.
You are an avid fisherman.
Wow.
I could not explain that. Not even a little bit. Okay.
Oh, really? The way they
no.
pull it under, you know what it is. By the way they pull the bobber under. So, yep.
I just know I have a fish or a snake.
When the bobber goes
that's what I
down,
know.
I pull up. Right.
I just love it. It relaxes me. It just gives me a
Really?
peace. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Calmness. You've never been on a boat together.
I've never seen you calm. So
Oh, whatever.
he says with love and affection, just for the record.
Community events. Like I said, we do a lot for the Rotary. They are near and dear to my heart. Like I said, I already belong to like the biggest fundraiser for Holy Family. I'm part of the Springfest board, but I want to do the school board also. I do a lot of chamber stuff. I volunteer for that. And I also host, me and my husband host the neighborhood block party. So
Oh, nice. Okay. Spell things right. I'm not sure that Chat GPT cares. Chamber, neighborhood block party. You're getting on the board, but you said something else.
Rotary.
Rotary.
Mm-hmm. I think I do more work for the Rotary than my husband, and he's the one that's on it.
Probably.
I would agree with that statement.
And I put rotardy, so we'll see if it figures out what that means. Okay, so this is what it came up with, right? Hi, I'm Ashley Nilsson, dedicated real estate agent here in Minnesota, and I'm passionate about helping my clients achieve their homeownership dreams. What sets me apart is my personalized approach. I take the time to understand your unique needs and goals so we can create a strategy that's tailored just for you. Now that sounds like something that you would say,
Yeah.
Ashley. Like maybe not in those words exactly, but definitely sounds like something you would say. With a proven track record and success and a 5-star reputation, I pride myself on being responsive, proactive, and client-focused every step of the way. I'm also deeply involved in our local community through the Chamber of Commerce, my neighborhood block party, and the Rotary Club. Yeah, see, it didn't do Rotarty, which gives me valuable insights into the local market and connections that benefit my client. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading to your dream house, or investing in property, you can count on me to bring an optimistic outlook and ambitious strategies to the table. I also draw from my love of cooking, home improvements, and fishing because understanding what makes a house feel like home is key to finding the perfect fit. That's a good line. That's a really good line. As a proud recipient of the Coldwell Banker Yearly Production Award, because you don't know which one you have, so that's what I put there. I have the results to back it up. If you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, let's connect. I'd love the opportunity to show you how my innovative strategies and dedication can help you achieve your goals. Now, this one's a little long, right? So a little longer than what our actual pitch is, but you can ask GPT.
Sure.
Let me get you a cup of coffee.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Somebody's having a stroke. Anyway.
To make this more conversational, literally, that's what you put in there, and it will change it to be more conversational. Keeping your same information. Go ahead.
Then will you please send it to me in email?
Yeah. I could do that. Yeah.
Just take a picture of it with your phone.
Actually, you'll share it on the upper right hand side there. You can share it so that way the algorithm will learn what you will learn the background of it. So then if you want to tweak it, you don't have to reprompt it.
Okay. Love it. So then it writes it for you. But we're looking at 3 different pitches, right? We're looking at our 30-second elevator pitch. This is longer than 30 seconds. We're looking at our 3-minute and our 30-minute. Like, so let's ask it to a 30-second. Now, question, do you think you could do that in 30 seconds?
Yeah. The way I chat?
Yeah.
I think we should do our 30-second pitches on the back of our business cards.
Oh.
There you
know
go,
what I'm
right?
saying?
Just in bullet points. Here's why I'm cool. The other person's not. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Now, does this sound like you, Ashley? Is there things in here that you would want to highlight that isn't highlighted here?
No, sorry, I wasn't reading it.
That's okay.
No, I think
Yeah.
It'll work.
It'll work. Love
Yep.
it.
It'll
Okay.
play. It'll play. Name that show.
It will. Now, can you see yourself doing this on video?
Yes, I could do it.
Yeah. So post it to your to whatever Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things that you have. any social media pages and say, hey, this is who I am.
Okay, I'm taking a photo.
I'll share it with you too, but
Yeah.
uh yeah.
That's the
So
easy
this
way to
is
do a screenshot.
yes. So this is your 30-second pitch. Do you, in your listing presentations, have an about me section, right? What differentiates you? Sometimes it's just your bio. Sometimes it's a little more into the value proposition, right? And that's what we're looking for here. Not just about you, but why you're better, different than other real estate agents. What's in your listing presentation, Ashley?
Oh, you're asking me. It
Mhm.
depends how I know them, I guess. It's
Okay.
not the same every time. So if it's a friend, I'm going to focus more on the property itself, like if it's my
hmm
cousin or a friend. So it depends on how I know the person, number one. And, if it's more of just I'm meeting you off, for the first time. I mean, I don't want to sound braggy or anything. So I would mention a couple things, but then I'm going to really focus on them because I want to know more about them. My goal is to focus on them. Yes, they can certainly ask me questions and stuff like that, and I'll answer them absolutely. But I don't want to take a ton of time that part of it. They'll get to know me.
Right.
I'll still
Well,
say
yeah.
things, but
And as you go through, like more information comes up, right?
yeah,
As you go
yeah,
through things.
yep.
Um, but uh, but yeah, you can use this, your pitch, your
Mhm.
30-second pitch,
Mhm.
um, in your listing presentations as well, right? So
Mhm.
maybe even this longer one that they came up with in the first place.
I might throw that into my sellers presentation coming up here. I got a little sellers meeting that I'm hosting, and I might throw that in there as one of the slides.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
One of the great ways to use this kind of content, you guys, is if you think of it, so I always like to train, right? Listing presentations are 2 steps, right? You have the initial site visit, then you go back to close the deal. And in between that, that's when we suggest you send the CMA, right? You're going to send, the Moxie present. You're going to do the drop off depending upon the level of service you're looking to provide, but you're going to give them to them. This is something then that they can preview on your behalf. And then it's the talking points that as you're there, now you can begin to work through that in a different way. You can reference that and it draws back to that expertise and that dialogue that you've already predetermined for them. Over the years, I found that when you do the 2-step process, the success rate is significantly higher. And the other thing is that you start to kind of just build some of those relational components and that relational equity inside of there. So this is a great thing to put inside of there and then refer back to.
Seems pretty easy, right? Part of why we do these is we want everybody together to be able to sit down and think about it. Because if I had just sent this to you guys in a PDF, how many of you would have read it?
Probably not.
Right? I'm sorry. Brandon would have. Yes.
All right, to be clear, I would have skimmed it. Maybe not read it. I see Darcy's face and she's not wrong. I probably would have skimmed it. So, okay.
Right? So that's why we do these, right? Set aside time so that you guys can do that. You're not stupid. You know that this is something that you do all the time. But to define it, refine it, and continue to move it forward and make it a little better is a huge piece of this. So your next steps. Let's see. So for those of you who are not Ashley, go to ChatGPT, go put in your stuff, put in your list of credibility, relevance, differentiation, anything that you want to highlight about yourself, and let it create it for you. So you don't have to sit and think about, well, how do I say this? Well, how do I fit this in the conversation? Well, right? What is this? Some of the lines that were in Ashley's was super great and is absolutely something I would use. Because I like those cheesy lines because they usually get laughs from people anyway. Um, the next step, once you put it in a ChatGPT, like we did with Ashley's, is you're going to fine tune it, right? Well, I don't really like that it highlights the chamber stuff and the rotary stuff. Like that seems a big piece of my value statement. I'm going to ask it to change that a little bit, or not highlight as many things, or I need this to be longer, right? I'm giving a presentation in front of a whole bunch of people. I need this to be 10 minutes long instead of 3 minutes. And it can do that for you. Don't forget to edit it and correct it, because ChatGPT will just put in stuff because it likes to fluff. Okay. So don't forget to read it and actually edit it. Don't just copy and paste and throw it somewhere else. Your next step, and I used to call this my windshield time, is you rehearse. I used to do this in my car all the time, going to listing appointments, going to a showing, and I would rehearse. Okay, how am I going to talk to the buyer? What am I going to say? What if they ask me this question? All of those things. This is my windshield time. Now we're going to ask you to do an actual selfie video, and send it to us so that you can win one of our prizes at the All-Team meeting on April 1st. Okay. Now, if you need help, if you're just kind of lost, like sometimes we get down in the dumps and we can't see our own value that we bring to the table, right? That's okay. That's what we're here for. Shout out to Brandon or Sean or myself or Darcy, and we can talk you through what actual value you bring, right? You might not see it as valuable as you're thinking about it, but we might have a different opinion of what that value is, right? And how that helps you. For instance, I'm very good at paperwork. Okay. I've always been very good at paperwork. However, I don't see that as a value I bring to the table. I didn't see that as a value until I start getting purchase agreements from other agents who have been in the business for 40 years and don't know how to fill out a purchase agreement. Now it's valuable. Okay. So those are the kind of the things that I'm talking about. So reach out to us, rehearse in front of us. I have no problem sitting down and playing the game if I'm the seller and you're trying to sell me on your services. Okay. Ben, don't forget to record it. You could send it right to me, or you can send it to Brandon. And we'll get you in we'll get you in the running for the cool prize. So we're just looking for your short 30-second pitch that you want to give, right? Your quick little introduction. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is why I'm important. Now, how many of you are actually going to do that?
I
Ashley
will.
already said she will.
Yep.
Yes.
You got to
Dave,
get
how
out of
about
your
you?
comfort zone.
You do. Anybody? I'm going to make Keegan do it.
I like it.
That's why I'm not raising my hand, because I'll be forced to at some point.
Forced to. What?
Right.
He's not wrong.
So that's the nitty-gritty of things. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, cool. Don't forget, once you rehearse, refine, rehearse, get it all that you want, to start using it, right? That we don't do these things so that you can just do it once and then never use it again. Our goal is for you to use these in your bios and your marketing materials. Maybe you want to start your personal branding yourself and your business around this value prop that you've given, right? Around your perfect pitch. And so start thinking about how you can use this as you're making it in other aspects of your business, not just the 30-second elevator pitch. Just FYI, there are a couple different resources that you can use. You can use the 2024 Agent Marketing Plan, which Coldwell Banker comes out with. This link takes you to my CB desk. And so your value prop is a part of that and how that works in there. Design Concierge. You can sign up to build a visual brand around your new value statement if that's what you're interested in, and really pushing into that and getting it out there to the world that this is who you are and this is what you do and this is your perfect pitch. You can as you should, put it in your listing presentation for sure. We always recommend Moxie Present because it's a fantastic tool to use. But whatever listing presentation you have is fine. You put it in there. Okay. Cool. That's all I got for you guys today.
Well, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Katie.
Dave.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Katie.
Darcy.
Yeah, it was a great day.